Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to A Glimpse of Growth with Dr. Dale. Welcome to AGG. Today we're talking about something that many leaders, that a lot of us sometimes maybe misunderstand. We misunderstand two-letter word, psychological safety. Psychological safety. We misunderstand that sometimes. Yeah, we do. Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Yeah, let's repeat that. Let's say that again. Injustice anywhere is a threat. And I'm going to add and say a great threat to justice everywhere. So let's get into the conversation, you guys.
Who don't know, what is emotional intelligence? Take us through a little bit about it.
Oh my goodness, it is the ability to be able to use, manage, understand your emotions in a healthy manner.
I pursued my doctorate in business administration, and I focused my research on the concept of emotional intelligence. I took my research from theory to practice.
So I say again, Martin Luther King Jr. said, and I quote, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. When someone is silenced or is dismissed or pushed to the side on a team, in a family, in a group, in a conversation, it affects everyone. Safety is collective. We all want to feel safe. We all want to be safe. I don't care where you are, where you're from, what you're doing. I don't care what color you think your blood is. Everyone wants to feel safe. Some people hear that phrase, the phrase psychological safety, and they think, oh, the soft stuff. Oh, it's trendy. That's trendy right now. That's why you guys are talking about it. Oh, that's an HR word for you. But let me tell you something very, very clearly. Psychological safety isn't soft. It's strategic. And that's the title of our conversation today. And in honor of Black History Month, which is something that we should be doing, honoring every day, if you ask me, I know African Americans all over the world live it every day. I want to ground this conversation in the legacy of courageous voices. This entire month, every Wednesday, we're here having a conversation. At least this month, we're making sure we're focused on Black History Month because it's Black History Month. The legacy of courageous voices that spoke up when silence would have them be safer. Good morning. Good morning, Shantae. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, you guys. Pop Style, welcome to A Glimpse of Growth. Thank you for popping in. This week, we recognize the passing of the great Jesse Jackson, a man who spent his entire life creating space for voices that had been silenced. Before workplaces started talking about inclusion, before companies talked about equity, before teams talked about safe spaces, leaders like Jesse Jackson was is they were fighting for the right to speak. and be heard. Psychological safety has always mattered. It has always mattered. We just called it a different word. We just didn't always call it that. Psychological safety, what it really is, let's clarify it. Let's make it clean. Let's make it plain. The Bible says, write it and make it plain. Let's make it plain. Psychological safety is not no accountability. It is not agreeing with everyone. It is not avoiding hard conversations or being overly sensitive. Psychological safety is the freedom to speak honestly without fear of humiliation. The ability to admit your mistakes without punishment. The confidence that disagreement won't cost you dignity. It's not comfort. It's courage supported by trust. The data doesn't lie. And for those out there all about data, all about the numbers, Google's Project Aristotle studied high performing teams and found something very interesting. They found that one key factor above talent, intelligence, and experience, what do you think it was? A 2-letter word. Starts with a P. Psychological safety. Teams. This is so amazing. I love this stuff, you guys. I just love this stuff. I love personal and professional growth development. Love it. Teams where people felt safe to speak out, speak up, outperform those with higher technical skills but lower trust. And Gallup reports that employees who feel psychologically safe was 76% more engaged. Did you know that over 76% of employees prefer to work with a boss that pays them less money but makes them feel safe, that is very empathetic towards them, than to be with a boss that pays them more and treats them like crap? That's not soft, folks. That's performance. That's innovation. That's retention. Which is why I said psychological safety is strategic. Why do you think people shut down instead of speaking up? Let me know, guys. Let me know below. What has been your experience? Why do you think people shut down? Why do you think people shut down instead of speaking up in all the spaces? At work, at home, at school, at play. Santos, Anibel, hello, good morning. People shut down because they've been interrupted way too much, repeatedly. Their ideas was dismissed way before they even can get them out. They saw someone else embarrassed publicly for speaking up. Feedback felt like punishment instead of development. I know this. I understand this very. I know this to be true. One of my experiences, personal experiences, is that I mentioned this before. I mentioned this quite a bit actually. I reference this a lot. Husband and I, when we got married earlier in our marriage, I used to cut him off a lot. I didn't give him a chance to say much. And eventually, he started saying less. And then I complain about that too. Hence, the reason why folks don't speak up in public or speak up when they should. That was my personal experience. He stopped speaking because I wasn't listening and I wasn't giving him a chance to even get his words out. I had to learn that the hard way. Silence is rarely apathy. For those out there wondering what is apathy, apathy is the state of significant indifference. Just a quick Google search, a lack of motivation, a lack of emotion, a lack of interest, or goal directed behavior. Silence is rarely apathy. Silence is often self protection. After a while, what do you think happened? My husband got quiet. When I was in the workplace and I had just became a manager, first time becoming a manager, first time being in a boardroom, first time speaking up, when I saw what it did to other people, I shut my mouth. I shut my mouth to protect myself. When employees don't speak up, it's not because they don't care. It's not always the case. Okay? Don't blanket it. Oh, they don't care. Oh, they are lazy. Oh, they're not interested. Don't do that. You're doing yourself a disservice. It's because they don't feel safe. Maybe. During Black History Month, it's important for us to remember for many Black professionals, psychological safety hasn't been a luxury. It's not a luxury. It's been survival. The courage to speak your truth in rooms that wasn't even built for you. The resilience to contribute despite resistance. Leaders like Jesse Jackson modeled what it looked like to speak boldly, and invited others to do the same thing. What is one of his phrases that he kept on saying? He said, I am somebody. I am somebody. So he once said, if my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, then I can achieve it. You can achieve it. We can achieve it. That belief requires psychological safety. People perform best when they feel valued, not tolerated. How leaders unintentionally, sometimes, okay, let's give them some credit, right? Sometimes leaders don't realize that they are silencing their teams. It happens quite a bit, right? So let's kind of make room for those that unintentionally do it. Now, this part is going to require a little bit of self-awareness. And again, for those that come and visit A Glimpse of Growth quite every week, self-awareness is something that we lean in here with all of our heart, soul, and mind. And at the end of the day, for those that are wondering what is self-awareness, is your ability to realize that you make mistakes, ability to understand what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, your ego. When are you performing? You have blind spots, my friend. Okay? So here goes. For those that unintentionally remove safety for those, this is for you. Leaders, sometimes you react emotionally to a feedback. Didn't realize you did it. I've been there. And when you do that, you make someone step back. instead of step forward and lean into your conversation. Yeah. You defend before even listening. Your stance is so no that they just don't say. They can't even finish what they're saying. It happens. They correct you publicly instead of privately. I was talking to this executive leader, and she said it's like she spoke as if she's like, why can't we just correct them why can I correct them right in front of the group right then and there? I said, would you want to be corrected in that way? When I said that to her, she's like, she paused. And I said, the reason why you didn't answer me, yes, that's the same reason that person didn't want to be corrected in public. You reward only those that agree with you. It's okay. It's okay. It happens. The question is, what do you do once it has happened? What are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? That's what a glimpse of growth, the podcast, my copy is all about. It's all about, you don't have to grow massively. You can, but you don't have to grow massively to grow a little, to grow. You can just grow. I'm going to work on this skill. I'm going to work on listening before I react. I'm going to work on maybe pausing just a little bit more before I respond. I'm going to work on taking deep breaths before I answer that email. That like, that's all it is. If you take one and you work on that one consistently every day, showing up. You may fall tomorrow or today, but you get back up and you keep on and you keep on and you keep on. You will grow. That's all a glimpse of growth is all about. You will grow. You don't have to yell at someone to create fear. Sometimes your tone alone can close a room. And I'm just going to say that again for those in the back there, that be yelling and thinking that their aim, their goal, you haven't. You just aimed at making yourself look like you're out of sorts. And that's not creating any safety for anyone. Welcome, you guys. Good morning. Prissy, good morning. Juju's mom, good morning. Welcome to A Glimpse of Growth with Dr. Dale. This morning we're talking about psychological safety, that it isn't soft. It is very strategic. Sometimes psychological safety is built in very, very small moments. How? The eye roll. Here she is again, saying something. Oh, God. The sigh. She done yet? He's still talking. Oh, my gosh. Maybe you're doing it and you don't even know. You're doing it. You don't even know. You're making someone feel uncomfortable speaking. Then you interrupt them on top of that. Those small behaviors teach people whether to speak up. I mean this with all the love and heart, or shut up. When you behave in that way. And it doesn't only happen in the workplace, it happens at home, it happens in relationships. I'm not even going to go there because that's a whole different subject. It happens wherever it is that people are gathering together towards a common goal and having everybody's voices heard. What psychological safety looks like in real time is pausing before responding. Yes, pausing before responding is thanking people for their honest input. It's admitting when you don't know something. Hey, you know what? I'm not sure about that, but let me figure it out and get back to you. Can you admit that? Can you say that? I mean, you can. Will you? Is the question. Psychological safety is separating the feedback from identity. Oh, he's lazy. Is he? Is he really? Is he? And even if he was lazy, why are we talking about the fact that he's lazy and not addressing his work? Find out the why. What has caused that person to not complete that task? Maybe finding out what that is. Sitting down and having a healthy conversation, adult conversation, intelligent adult professional conversation with them, and doing a little bit more. My director of HR used to say fact finding. Address issues without humiliation. They understand that you cannot demand, please understand that you cannot demand innovation and punish vulnerability. I mean, kind of empathy plus self awareness plus relational skill equals safety. And that's what I said at the top of the hour. I said, everybody, I don't care who you are, wants to be safe. You want to feel safe. And safety builds performance. Yes, it does. So here's something simple that you can practice this week. When someone shares a concern to you, with you, instead of trying to defend, it, defend your response, defend your stance, I welcome you to maybe lean in, like Sheryl Sandberg's book, lean in and say, tell me more. What do you mean? Tell me more. Maybe say that when you say that sentence alone, that makes the person, oh, okay, let me continue to tell them. Bo, good morning. DJ Michael, good morning. Welcome to A Glimpse of Growth with Dr. Dale. We're talking about psychological safety. And right now we're discussing specifically some sentences, a practice that you can probably incorporate to make someone feel safe around you. You can say, tell me more. I'd like to hear more about that. Expand on that a little bit. You could say, I appreciate you bringing this to our attention. I am grateful for your perspective on this. Please sit down, share, let me know. Safety grows in acknowledgement. Safety grows in acknowledgement. And let me leave you guys with this. Psychological safety is not about being liked. It's about being trusted. How do folks feel around you? And I love asking these questions when I go do workshops in organizations. After folks interact with you, how do they feel? How do you feel? You can tell if you're, someone that's very do a lot of introspection, retrospection, and self-awareness and check in on yourself. How do you feel after you finish talking to the boss? How did you feel after you finished that meeting with your peers? Trust is built through trust. It's through that connection, letting people know that you hear, you listen. first. Trust isn't built in policies. It isn't built through, responding when someone risks being honest. It's built. That's how it's built. As we honor leaders who fought for the voiceless throughout this world, who fought for voice, who fought for our dignity, who fought for humanity, like Jesse Jackson, let's make sure our workplaces reflect the same. And it behooves you, if you are a leader in an organization and you are witnessing someone being removing that safety for someone else, and you are witnessing it and you are not doing something about it, shame on you. In 2026, in this day and age, shame on you. Do better. Do better. Because safety is not softness. The only way safety becomes psychological safety becomes the norm is if you where you are in your community, in your space, in your workplaces, in your homes, in your church, in your groups, you start declaring and making sure you make people around you and yourself that they feel safe to speak up. If you are witnessing someone being bullied or pushed around and silence, say something in the right space. Don't humiliate the person. In an effort to make someone else feel psychologically safe, don't humiliate the person, the perpetrator, because then you are creating a psychological, not safe situation for them. Privately, have that conversation with them. I did this so many times with executives. They would say stuff in meetings and I didn't want to go into it because we're in a group. I would go back after and I would ask them, what did you mean by this when you said this? Safety is strength. Safety is strength. So I want to ask you guys a question before we get out of here. This is what I'm leaving you with. When was the last time someone felt safer because of how you responded? When? If you're not sure, if you don't know the answer to this question, because you're all about me, and more me, and you're not being observant. When I was in those boardrooms and those meetings, I love people watching naturally for me. So I love looking around the room and looking at people's faces and looking at their body language and what they said and what they didn't say, but what they meant and how they spoke passionately about the subjects that they cared about, and the facial expression and how human beings can't help but express who they are. And they will do it in subtle ways. If you're paying attention, you will know. You will know, my friend, if you're paying attention. So I wanted to come in here and talk a little bit about this and to let you guys know that you're not alone going through the unsafe places, unsafe workplaces, unsafe conversation. And with everything that's going on today, especially with the immigration stuff, like a lot of folks are feeling not safe. What are you doing to make others feel a little safer? What can you do? I promise you, if you look around hard enough, you're going to be able to answer that question. There's always something you can do. When you really want to help someone, when you really want to be there for that person, when you really want to make sure that you're doing your part, you will find a way to do it. My mom she always says, if you care about it enough, you will find a way to do it. So find a way. If you want practical tools to create psychological safety in real time, reach out. DaleReports.com. Visit my website, sign up for my newsletter, and I share tips and templates all the time because psychological safety isn't declared in mission statements. It's not. It's built every single day in interactions. Let's build workplaces. Let's build spaces, home spaces, board spaces, workplaces, all the spaces. Let's build spaces where people don't just work, they feel like they belong. And it starts with you. It starts with you doing your part. Thank you guys for popping in here with me today. This has been a conversation with Dr. Dale. My podcast is called A Glimpse of Growth with Dr. Dale. Thank you for showing up. And like I mentioned earlier, you don't have to grow a huge lot because life is a lot. You just have to grow just a little bit. Every day, consistently. It's not going to be perfect, but you striving, getting up, brushing your knees off, and keep going. Keep going. Because what? We're going to go backwards? We ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that. I do also want to mention here that for those that are here local in South Florida, I am a part of an organization called Sherm Broward, previously Society for Human Resources Management, and I Society for Human Resources Management, and I definitely want to make sure that we have an event coming up. It's March 31st, so visit hrabc.org, and I welcome you guys to join this conversation. Is going to talk about inclusion in action. It's going to be very hands-on. We're going to do a lot of executive coaching on the spot, a lot of workplace conversations, deep conversations, and I want to make sure that the speakers and the panelists that we're going to have, they're going to be sharing so much. So I welcome you guys to join, and feel free, if you are here local in South Florida, join us. Join us on March 31st. And that's all I have for you today. That's all we have, guys, next week for another conversation of A Glimpse of Growth with Dr. Dale.
Thank you for being here and supporting this channel. If you enjoyed this episode and this content, it would mean a lot to me if you would take a few seconds to ensure you are subscribed to A Glimpse of Growth with Dr. Dale. Click the notification bell to receive notification. Share it with someone you think may need it. And let's continue to become more intelligent with our emotions. Thank you.